शुक्लाम्बरधरं नीलं माल्यचन्दनभूषितम् राधाचित्तचूरेन्दुं सौन्दर्य सुमहोदधीम् परात् परतरं देवं ब्रह्मानन्द कृपानिधिम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी Bhagavad Gita, as we read in the colophon at the end of every chapter, is Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra together. And every chapter has the name of a yoga. So it is Yoga Shastra means how to get to that goal. Brahma Vidya gives you the the goal and all that means what when you achieve that goal, what how your life changes, why that is the goal of life. All that idea is very nicely given in what is called Brahma Vidya. That Brahman is our true nature, the all pervading one reality. And it brings out that supreme truth to us. It is, although it is supreme truth, it is so counterintuitive. Means it is that we are instinctively aware of the differences in us. We are all different beings. Uh, this person is different from Teresa and from, I say everywhere, Vinay is different from me. Although Vinay and Lakshman are closely related, still they are different, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, so uh, oh, at least you can say physically. Intellectually, still to be decided. It is to be decided. TBD. So it is, yeah. So there is we are aware of the differences and we are sure that we are different. But when we look at something that is deeper, when we analyze, we see that these differences kind of become insignificant. They dissolve actually with sufficient analysis, they dissolve into oneness. And we see that in spite of the apparent differences, actually, there is only one all pervading reality, and that actually is also the source of everything that we are seeking in life. And like we seek happiness and want to get rid of misery, it is a common thing that we all do. Whatever that brings happiness, we go to that. Whatever that brings sufferings, we run away from that. What? Corona, do you go? Hey, pray, let me know because it brings suffering. So we stay away from Corona. That and this is all our knowledge or development of knowledge has this one common idea behind it to uh, increase the happiness and decrease the suffering. And so the goal can be easily understood. When this process is completed, then we are at the goal. All our endeavors are directed. This is matter of experience. This is not matter of philosophy as such. That all our endeavors are directed to a reduction of suffering and increase in happiness. And so, where this process culminates, that is the goal of life. Means that infinite happiness, highest happiness, and zero misery. So, Vedanta gives this goal for the life. It may be far away, whatever, but there should not be two opinions on this. That is the goal, because till we achieve that, our efforts will keep on continuing. So it is. Uh, some would say that it is impossible to achieve that. That is a hypothesis that it is impossible to achieve. On what basis did you come at this conclusion? You may say that, well, I have not achieved it, or it seems to be pretty difficult. That is understandable, but to say that it is impossible to achieve that is not a scientific statement. Especially, it goes against the fact. If a theory goes against the fact, then the theory has to be mm, dustbined. It is not a good theory. And the theories could explain the fact. That is possible. It can also show the possibility of certain facts. It can also connect various facts. But if a fact is contradictory to the theory, you cannot discard the fact. That is too big an elephant to be moved out. You cannot move away out the facts. You have to kick out the theory. uh. So this is the common scientific practice. Although it is difficult to do because we get addicted to a particular theory, and so, even if the facts come up which are against it, we keep on still insisting on the correctness of that theory. Oh, that fact might be an aberration. There might not be proper observation, and so forth. But when overwhelmingly the facts come up, then what do we have? We don't have a choice but to discard uh, these theories, and the facts are there. So, therefore, there is the fact that there are so many people who have attained to this goal of highest happiness and no suffering. And the example, tangible, historical example is Sri Ramakrishna. You may say others, lot way back as thousands of years ago, who knows? Uh, and the historical accounts of their life are so much full of hundreds of miracles, and then the historians are not unanimous also who recorded those lives. So it is like, for example, Rama's life. If you take two Ramayanas, there will be so many different opinions about it. Some common that Rama was the son of Dasharatha, His mother's name was Kaushalya. And that some point he had to go to forest. He was banished into forest and he killed Ravana. These some of these points they are there. But amongst all connecting things, you don't know. One Ramayana will say, Kamba Ramayana will say one thing, Tulsi Ramayana will say something, and in that Tamil Nadu, what is that Ramayana? Huh? Valmiki Ramayana is they considered the original one. But there is, then there is in Bengal, what is it? There is another Ramayana that is popular there. Almost in all the uh, central and north Indian part of India, Tulsi Ramayana has tremendous sway. So, but then there is the difference in them. So, what is to be taken as the authority? Who knows, whatever. Yeah, Tulsidas himself says that there are so many Ramayanas, Shatakoti. Ah, a great hymn on Rama, many recite it daily, Rama Raksha Stotram. So they are written by Buddha Kaushika Rishi. Ah, do you know this, Lakshmanji? No? Rama Raksha Stotram. Ah, it is, yeah, it is a very famous short hymn. So it was that there was a sage Buddha Kaushika and Lord Shiva came in his dream and told him this hymn, write this hymn. So Shiva recited that, and then when he woke up, he wrote it down as told by Shiva. uh, that Adishtavan yatha swapne Rama raksham imam harah तथा लिखितवान् प्राप्तः प्रबुद्धौ बुधकौशिकः. Hmm. That in dream as Lord Shivahara has dictated, when Prabuddhau means when he woke up, now Likhitavana Praptaha. He saw that it is all getting written. His, he was not writing. Somebody was impelling his fingers to write it. So there are such cases even in the modern society that somebody else is writing that. What do you call it in your psychology? You don't know. Okay. There is this phenomena very important, you know. Yeah, to be noted. Yeah, they uh, no, this person is holding, has to take up the pen and write. He has no control. It is not his thoughts or his, he is not aware what he is writing. He is possessed. So, yeah, yeah. So it is, and like that, possessed means Lord Shiva is using his fingers as it were to write it. So, this is, so it says there, Shatakoti Charitam Raghunathasya Shatakoti Pravistaram, that uh, how many tens of billions of these biographies of Rama would be found, uh, so much. And Ekaikam Aksharam Punsam Mahapataka Nashanam. In that, even if you take one letter from any of these, sincerely, all your sins can be burnt, removed by that one letter. So now these things appear to be, not to modern man. And nice to hear, inspirational, okay, but it doesn't look like factual. These are not, they won't be taken as the proper factual records. But Sri Ramakrishna's biography has been written by his own disciples with meticulous care, taking the eyewitnesses accounts and verifying them and so forth. There could be a few minor mistakes here and there or difference of opinion, but very minor. So, but in this all were unanimous that Sri Ramakrishna, in spite of tremendous, adverse situations, what commonly a person would see as tremendous adversities like cancer, still he was immersed in joy. Anand, one author, Swami Prabhananda, our vice president right now, he has written a nice book, Ananda Swarup Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, who is full of bliss. He had cancer, he had no amenities that rich people would have. All the problems could be, you can keep on counting. But still, his disciples say that we have never ever seen him devoid of bliss because he has attained to that level, that state, blissful state, where your bliss does not depend on what is happening outside. You are always full of bliss. Like salt will always have the salty taste. You don't have to add anything to the salt to make it salty. So it is uh, Sri Ramakrishna by nature is this. You can get to that level. That so there is this fact, and there is the other fact that you can see that he thus has no suffering. So this is possible, that complete annihilation of suffering and getting the absolute bliss. So Shankaracharya mentions that Sarve Vedantaha, all Vedantas, means books on Vedanta, they are all uh, directed at this. What is their goal? Paramananda avaptischa, atyantika dukha nivritti, paramananda avaptischa, complete cessation of suffering and total blissfulness. Now, that being the goal, and Bhagavad Gita points out to that goal. That is the goal where you attain also immortality. You become everything. All your desires are fulfilled, gone, and therefore there is no loss of peace either. You become completely peaceful. See how many things are automatically achieved by that. You become love itself. You love automatically, you love everyone. So, all these things are now uh, this person able to get. And so, the point is that person is able to get this is the goal, I understand. But is there a process by which we all can achieve it? Yes. It is another thing that Vedanta assures is that this is a scientific process. Anybody can achieve that if you follow that path. Anybody that you just have, say, uh, address and then just follow the Google directions or whatever you have, MapQuest, and then you come there. It is available for everyone. Earlier, they used to have the maps that look at the maps, big papers. When I arrived in this country first, there were no such, you say. So uh, I saw one lady was driving a truck, uh, and on the steering wheel, she had held a big map, and driving. I kept, a safe distance from her. You see, it is so. It is like that. Expert. She was expert. That is how they used to do those days. The point is that if I know the address, and I have the map, then I will get there. Hmm. So, is there a map for us to go to that goal? Are there clear directions to go to that? Yes, that is called Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Got it? Simple, isn't it? And Yoga Shastra means if you follow this, you will reach the goal. When will when will I reach it? Depends on how fast you go. It is if you just are sitting on the road, you will never get there. The road is there, but you won't get there like that. I told that joke last time. Somebody asked, "Does this road go to New York?" And to the gas station, and the man at the gas station said, "I have been living here 30 years at the same spot. My dad also owned this gas station. He also lived another 30 years. Uh, None of us saw that road going anywhere. The road has been here only. The road didn't go anywhere. But if you go along this road, you may reach New York, you see. The road doesn't go anywhere. So, this yoga uh, will take you if you follow it. If you walk on that path, then you will surely reach the goal. No ambiguity about it. So, these yogas in Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters, so each has a name yoga. So, in various ways, this has been described, and in these monthly satsanga here, we have been discussing. Earlier, we took, when we were having classes long back now at the temple in Middletown, then verse by verse, we discuss Bhagavad Gita. Now we are discussing as to this topic wise. So you will see the four main class that aspects of this yoga idea, the four special ways in which one can practice that. So it is, and this is Swami Vivekananda is credited with organizing it in this way. Our faculties, we have three prominent faculties. It is thinking, feeling, and willing. So, thinking faculty, when the yoga, our thinking is given the yoga mode, when it is put into the yoga mode, it is usually in the opposite mode called bhoga mode. Mm. That so whereby we increase our suffering. That is the natural mode in which our thinking functions. How I will get more money and more enjoyments, and uh, in short, how will I get more suffering? That is the result wise, it is like that. You are thinking, nobody says that I will work to get more suffering. But if you are doing something, that is what the result will be according to what you do, not what you want. You wanted joy, but you did something because of which you ended up getting suffering. You wanted to go somewhere but got confused that instead of boarding the train to say to DC, you boarded the train to go to Chicago. Then, even though you wanted to go to DC, where will you end up? Chicago. So that is what happens to us, that it is you get there. It is uh, so this bhoga mode has to be changed to yoga mode. In our thinking, when it is done, that is called jnana yoga, yoga of knowledge. When that very our feelings, instead of bhoga mode, they are put into yoga mode, then it is called yoga of devotion. bhakti, puja and bhajan and all that. When it is put into the action mode, then uh, it becomes karma yoga. So, and there is one more thing that has been specially brought out by Vivekananda as a separate discipline, but which is involved with all other yogas, that is called Raja Yoga, or the process of meditation, learning to meditate. As such, we keep on thinking, trying to concentrate, but it is that faculty can be developed in a scientific way to concentrate on the nature of the things, and thus that is it reveals its truth through meditation. So that is called Raja Yoga. And in Bhagavad Gita, you see a complete, a harmonious presentation of all these yogas. Uh, it is unparalleled, that in one such tiny book, it has only 700 verses. It is because of translation and commentaries, it looks big books on Bhagavad Gita. But and the commentaries can go on, discussions can go on. I had told that one of our Swamis, he was very analytical in his approach. So his lectures used to be pretty long, even longer than mine, and would cover just one or two or such words. So it is an anecdotal, that story comes to us that he gave for 1 year the classes on Bhagavad Gita. So, after the completion of 1 year, he said, till now we were discussing what is dharma. From now, next class, we will start discussing about kshetra. And there is the first word itself, the dharma kshetre, is the first word in Bhagavad Gita. So, of that, half was discussed in 1 year. So, it is, I mean, you can keep on thinking about it endlessly. That is the point. But the book as such is very small. It is, you can, just the 700 verses book, you can easily put in a small pocket. It is so uh, very harmonious treatment of all these yogas is presented there. So today we are going to discuss how Lord Krishna in different chapters has described these things, and we will try to see the harmony. In the same chapter, you will see the discussion on this yoga of action, yoga of worship or bhakti, and the yoga of meditation. All three you may find you, and yoga of knowledge also. I have not mentioned it in the title of today's talk, but that also comes right there. So uh, so many, every chapter you will find a discussion, as you know, it is mainly being discussed or directed to one yoga, but uh, since they are not cut and dried separate pieces, so it is, while discussing one, there is also a spontaneous discussion on another. And I found it specially in this sixth chapter and seventh chapter, 18th chapter, in 12th chapter. We will not take up all of them today, but one can see this great idea of harmony. And then actually, this today's topic came up as a result of some questions that people have been asking me for a long time. And I used to get irritated at times because the same person was asking this question again and again, that it is, well, this is bhakti, isn't it? This is not jnana. Showing hands as if these things are. this is this is this. Uh, no, this is not like north and south, you say. They are all uh, embedded, combined into one another. You can look upon them like you have the rope, rope. You have three strands uh, of yarn, and then you tie them together. Now, all three strands are going in the same way, intertwining each other. They are not separate from each other as the one going east and another going west. So all yogas, they intertwine into each other. Only for understanding they have been separately mentioned. So therefore I thought let me take up this topic, that uh, to see that these are all together. These are not like if you want to follow bhakti, then you will have to divorce jnana. No. Uh, this devotion, worship, the idea of this knowledge, as well as this action, karma yoga, all are and should be, in fact, practiced together. So, it is first, I will take, because in the title of the talk today, it is the meditation, is the that meditation is there, worship is there, and work is there. Worship, meditation, and working. So let us take up the idea of meditation. It is a buzzword. Everybody has, meditation. I want to do meditation. And there are meditation centers are around, So it is this, because people feel the need to calm down, to get more centered, focused, and so forth. In many interfaith congregations, they are the congregations of all clergy of different faiths, and I am a member of most of them. So it is, and they have different purposes. One is to just know each other. That as another is to that see that they are harmonized. Let us see the harmonious understanding that how each religion has so much commonality with another religion and all that. The third that is very big is for social, for economic reforms and removing poverty by faith. Now they are there, yeah, presenting the agenda, and uh, they they let us pressurize these lawmakers to have this legislation for homeless and all that. It is very good, nothing wrong, no fault is to be seen in them. But when we come together, then they say, let us have first a centering prayer. Uh, a centering prayer means let our minds be calmed down, all the turbulence let it be uh, brought down, and so that we can clearly see, clearly think. So, uh, that is in a way called meditation. Let us, sit quiet for some time and let us have our thoughts come together. It is, yeah, when the water is boiling, and now you cannot drink it. It is, well, let the turbulence calm down, let it cool down a little bit. Then it is good for sipping. So, uh, if our minds are on fire like that, uh, boiling. then no constructive thinking can be done. So meditation is taken up like that, just for that purpose by some. But meditation is really going deeper and deeper by concentration. Uh, so, uh, this process is very interesting. We do that for conservation of energy in all fields. That, like we have boilers, the place is to be kept warm as the temperatures go down in winter. So, all they have furnaces, boilers, and all that. Now the water is getting, boiled, steam is being made. Now if there are the holes uh, there, then the energy will be all lost, the steam will all run away, it will not go where you want to take it. So therefore, you have to plug the holes. So one idea in meditation is, let us not fritter away our thought process. Hey, what happened? Oh, battery gone. Do you have another? Okay, so let us forget. Ah, they will hear. They are not. It is for others now. I will have to shout. So okay, that's all right. So now I will concentrate on speaking loudly. Uh, so it is, and you also get a chance to concentrate more on hearing. It is. Uh, Forget. Hey, Vinay. Okay. So it is the concentration and control. Then we can have the practice of so many other aspects of our spiritual life. So, this concentration is described here how Sarvadvarane संयम्य मनो हृदि निरुध्य च मूर्ध्याधायात्मनः pranam आस्थितो योग धारणam. This is the 12th verse of the 6th chapter. Uh, this is, oh, sorry, this is the not a 6th chapter, this is 8th chapter already. So, in the 8th chapter, you find this verse that Sarvadvarani Sanyamya. Uh, all these are called the doors, eyes, ears, and all that. They are like holes. So, all these holes have to be controlled. Otherwise, the energy will get frittered away through those. So, Sarvadvarani Sanyamya Mano Hridi Niruddhya, that now concentrate in your heart, that the presence heart means where you have the center of your awareness, that is being called as heart. That it is like when you say I had a change of heart, means not that you went to a heart surgeon to get a new one. So it is a change of heart means now your understanding has changed. So the heart is now seen, mano, riddhi, niruddhacha. Put all your mind into this center of consciousness, mm, where you feel I, and then concentrate on the true nature of I. There are ways of doing it more efficiently, that think of, God there in your heart, and then concentrate on that. So it is asked, and be in that state, hold on to that state, Uh, it is an exercise that has to be carried on because the nature of the mind is fluctuating. It keeps on fluctuating. So you got, wow, thank you. Huh? They had it. Very good. So we are back uh, now with power, you know. Otherwise, there was no power. Anyway, that is another topic. So, mm, so this is, you see, this is the eighth chapter actually is not given for the discussion of meditation and that kind of, you know, yoga of concentration. Sixth chapter has that dhyana yoga is the sixth chapter. But and in sixth chapter you find all that. But I am telling this from the eighth chapter that there is this idea there also, that meditation. Sit in this way, meditate, and uh, there is that what was not there in sixth chapter, but an important part of this meditative process that is commonly practiced by people is to have a mantra for concentration. The mantra is an important, necessary aspect for most of us. Most means I would say 99% people. There could be 1%, maybe, or 0.1%. It is all others require a sound. That sound gives the constancy to anything. So, therefore, we need mantra is a sound that is the name of the highest reality or goal that you are thinking about. Let it be given a name. So, that name, now you repeat that name. And the best name is given here. It is that comes in Bhagavad Gita several times. Om. Om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran. Whole process is described in these four words, stuffed with so much of meaning, that Om iti ekaksharam brahma. This is Brahman, but symbolized just by one single syllable. Om. So, and Vyaharan, keep on repeating it in your mind. But only that will not be enough. Think about me. Vyaharan mam anusmaran. Uh, It is think while doing of God, that all pervading reality, your true self. Think about it. So, this thinking using the mantra becomes then a powerful tool for a proper concentration on our goal. So, in sixth chapter, there is no mention of a mantra. Uh, there is lot of hints on meditation as to how to sit, how to, you know, have a proper posture, how to do some breathing exercise, and then uh, also about, you know, what one should think. All these things are given in sixth chapter very nicely, but and this idea of in meditation, this is of course in the where God is telling about He as the highest reality. Aksharam Brahma Yoga, that is the eighth chapter. In that it is told the way of the uh, uh, imperishable Brahman, Akshara Brahma Yoga. So here it's a very important chapter. Each chapter is important in its own way. But this chapter is important because it discusses that what happens after death. To me, because we all know that we are going to die, isn't it? At least we have an idea. We think that it will not happen to us while it has happened to all others. Till these life insurance people, they come and insist, on you are going to die, so take life insurance. So that they won't die, if you buy their insurance. So it is they uh, we are going to die, but when we get aware, become aware of it, what next? What will happen to me? So that is also discussed in this chapter very beautifully. So, uh, and there is this idea of developing, worshipping God. That worship here doesn't mean like what we did, offer flower. And there are various ways of worshipping. But common aspect of all worship is to keep on thinking about God. So, Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran, think of God. So there is this idea of meditation and worship together here. Then what I uh, uh, means that is, uh, keep on repeating it, using it. Uh, in in Hindi you say व्यवहार, उस चीज का व्यवहार करो, मीन्स काम में लगाओ उसको, मेक यूज ऑफ इट. That is the idea, Vyaharan. Uh, yes, please. Ah, yeah, exactly. See, a very good question. No two people think of God in the same way. They should not also. And it is the point is whatever is your highest goal in life, one way of looking at it, what is the highest goal of your life? And we were seeing earlier that no suffering and highest bliss. So feel that, call that as God. That is why in Hindus we have the great name of God, Satchidananda, the bliss itself, existence itself, knowledge itself. There is these days even many Christian theologians have been taking up this idea of God. It is one book that Sarvapriyananda quotes from, what is Bentley, that about the God Satchidananda. He uses the word, actually, all the Sanskrit word he uses Satchidananda. Uh, he is a Christian theologian, and uh, he has been a philosopher, a mathematician before taking up this into theology. So he says that the only answer that can be given to atheists, that who say there is no God, uh, is found here. Existence, consciousness, bliss. And that is God. So, Satchidananda. So, this is, and you see, whatever understanding we have of existence, knowledge, and bliss, that will be the God that I will be meditating on. Uh, but since Sandhya will have another understanding of existence, knowledge, bliss, she will be meditating on her idea. Uh, it is, but we meet at the same goal ultimately, that your understanding becomes clear, her understanding becomes clear, and then you now agree with each other. So the point is that uh, it should be something tangible. What is God? No end to the opinions about it. But whatever idea you have of existence, knowledge, bliss, or our goal in life. My goal in life. Meditate on that. That is God. Another way of looking at it, which is liked by some, which is connected to goal in a way, and that is good. Some say God, good. It is abbreviation has become God. The highest good. Uh, this is that great uh, philosopher Plotinus. He does not use the word God, he uses the word the good. The good is God, the ultimate good. It is, that is God. So it is, the philologists can debate about it, but I think it is quite plausible that abbreviation, there is the language has the tendency of abbreviating. All the time we do that. Like we say minutes and seconds, they are abbreviations. Do you know that they are abbreviations? Hour is the unit. Now, first minute of that hours, 1/60th part of that hour, was called the first minute. And then that minute is divided further into 60 parts that got called as second minute. But in the first minute, that first became, that was taken out. So we call it now, instead of minute, we call it minute. Uh, and the second minute, the minute part is kicked out, and we call it second. So it is like, if you look at the origins of these words, it is like that. So there is the language goes towards brevity. And so instead of saying God, writing too much, why one more O is necessary? Take it out. So good. It is even it is more reformed American than what Mark Twain also could have envisioned. You see, so it is God. So that is God. We all want good, isn't it? It is. Yes, I am good. You say when actually you are not good. Even then you say I am good. It is. Uh, I had this problem with American lingo. Uh, well, would you have some tea? Oh, I'm good. It is a way of saying no, I don't want. I say why you should praise yourself. Let somebody else say that you are good. You telling yourself I am good, eh? So it is. So they, but what I'm pointing out is that we respect good. It is bad and good. We choose good. So highest good. You can think of that as God. Hmm. So there are ways of picturing that. So therefore, whatever idea you feel close to your heart, hold on to that. And there are many mantras. Different mantras are there, but Om is the common feature of all mantras. In later on in Bhagavad Gita, it will be told, without Om, there cannot be any mantra. Hmm. Every mantra, got it? Got to have Om. So it is the Om. So now what happens is that meditation that is mentioned, it becomes also devotion. It becomes worship. Because using this mantra, now you are worshipping God by through this process of thinking. So this is how they become mentioned, right, with each other. Now there is, you can see the sixth chapter, so many such verses that how to meditate, and there also you will find while discussing the details of meditation, uh, there is also the mention, almost, in a conjoined manner, of connecting it to God. Mm. So concentrate the mind and connect it to the God. Lord Krishna says to me, to Arjuna, uh, this is me. Why? Tangibility. And God is otherwise not something ethereal, something that is tangible. So take a human expression of it. That is how it becomes a tangible thing that we can feel, think of, and read about, and so forth. It is very rarely somebody would be able to think about all pervading reality, a reality that is everywhere. God is pervaded in all and is abstract, is beyond form. Uh, we will not be able to think of it. Even water, for example, water everywhere, water in the atmosphere, water in the clouds. Oh my goodness, I want to drink. So that is a tangible something in a glass. You want to take it, you see. It is uh, for discussion, all right, that you can uh, think about water, H2O, hydrogen, and oxygen. And nobody wants a lecture. I'm thirsty. Give me some water. See, and so that is the tangibility. Practicality is very important. So this is how it is mentioned here in the sixth chapter that I was telling, that how to meditate now. संकल्प प्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् अशेषतः मनसा एव इन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः. That sankalpa prabhavan kaman. Kama means desires. Abandoning without reserve all desires born of sankalpa, and completely restraining by the mind alone the whole group of senses from their objects in all directions. And the words are beautiful, very and pregnant with deep meaning, friends. So it is that how the desires means, kama is the Sanskrit word for that, the desire, very tangible desire. Before that, it is a sankalpa, a firmament of desires, as it were. That it is like you have the fire, and then the sparks come out of it. So these sparks, they come out of the fire there. So how these desires rise up, that is called sankalpa, that the mind thinks. It is the nature of the mind, what is called that sankalpa vikalpa. The word sankalpa is used here. It is accompanied by vikalpa, the modifications. One modification, opposite modification. Uh, Let this happen. No, let this not happen. Like that, it oscillates between the two, and then that becomes concretized as desire. Uh, the desires, they have a source. Your psychology doesn't say that, It is okay. So, sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshatah, by giving them up completely, asheshatah, and don't hold on to any of these, because uh, they may stick with you, but still you make an attempt not to hold on to them. Their nature is like that. They will attack you, they will be sticking at you, and by practice gradually you have to Get rid of those because they are keeping you away from your goal. Mm. That is to be understood that these sankalpa prabhavan kaman, that these all these desires that are coming up because of the turbulence of mind, which again has a basis that is called ignorance. So, all that is coming up, uh, and so now don't go after them. It is if you don't go after them, they stop. It is when you go after them, then only they get uh, powered. Like that Swami gave that very nice analogy, one Swami who came to Providence to give retreat. Like emails, so many spam emails come to you. Ah, that if they are just in your inbox, they are not going to create any problem. But you click on them and click on an attachment coming with them, then, well, you may find your bank balance zero. It is, or many other problems will arise. So it is, they don't click on it. That desire will arise. Mm, just watch at it. Don't click on. Just as you watch those spam emails, what do? Hmm. There is that you use that delete button. Hey, so in our consciousness also there is this delete button. Uh, Press delete. Uh, Go. Ah. So if you open and try to that open the attachment, click on it and you get caught. Don't do that. It is then it is and now concentrate on those emails which are important. Hmm. That is, this mind which is now taken away from all spam is to be now put into manaseva indriya gramam. All your organs and mind now is to be concentrated uh, from all directions. Bring it all together, and then a very important advice is given here. Shanai Shanai Uparamed Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya. A great technique has been presented. Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya. That a master psychologist, Lord Krishna, is, you see how the technique has been given. Firstly, know that it is gradual, depending on how much uh, power you can summon. It is going to be a gradual thing. It is that like constructing a building. Well, in the mind, you can construct it all together very quickly. Uh, but outside now, it takes years planning this, that. So you have to get money, you have to get all these other materials, and so it is a project that could take years. So it will happen in degrees, gradually. You have to. Did I tell you that story that one head of our center in India, he has the design plans to have a particular building built for the use of some that work there. And there is the rule that every such construction project and the plans have to be sent to the headquarters. The construction committee at headquarters will study those plans and then send the approvals or send some suggestions or say no, this will not, this you cannot do it. So he sent those plans and they were pending there for approval, and he went to the headquarters in the meantime, and uh, And the general secretary said, okay, so you have the plans. Okay. Have you started something work? He said, the work is two-third complete. Two-thirds complete, you mean? Eh? We have not even given you the permission. I just wanted to know if you have collected money for it. And you say the work is two-third done. And the general secretary was, scolding him left and right. Oh, wait, he's the Swami was telling me. uh, Two-thirds means the work is done uh, by manasa, vacha, and karmana. Three levels are there, that the level of mind, uh, the level of speech, and then the level of external action. So the first two levels complete. So I said two-thirds is done. So it is the third, the karma that will happen gradually, you see. So uh, that is how he says, Shanai, Shanai. Don't feel despair, that sense of, disgust that it is not happening, or don't get frustrated that in 2 days it has not happened. So wait, it may take uh, 2 years, 20 years, lifetime, depending on, how much you have to do and how fast you are doing it. So, uh, Shanai Shanai and Buddhya Dhriti Grahitaya, that is the tremendous expression that there are these faculty of uh, our understanding, buddhi, and discernment. Our discerning faculty is very important there. And that discerning faculty tells us about where you are. It is that must be active and hold on to that buddhya dhriti grihitaya. One has to catch hold of that strongly. Uh, it should not be let loose. It should be held on. And now what you should do? आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किंचिदपि चिन्तयेत् यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततो ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. A very beautiful idea is given, that it will not stay there. The mind doesn't stay, it keeps on running about. That is its tendency. Do not say my mind. It is everybody's mind. Not, it is not that just yours. You are not a special person. Everybody's mind is like that. That it will keep on wavering, running around. So, but keep it, pull it back, put it on leash. Like people go walk their dog. Uh, they put the dog on leash. So the dog tries to move around here and there, goes away. Now the dog wants to go away, but the person who is walking the dog hmm, brings that dog again on the path. Hey, not there, come on. That is how the mind would like to go here and there. Hmm, pull it back. Uh, pull it back. Very important thing. Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. This is by using the faculty. That faculty has to be awakened and held on to. Uh, that it is like get the leash and hold the leash. Otherwise, the dog and the leash both went away. Not like that. Hold the leash firmly. It is Dhriti Grihitaya, holding the leash firmly. Now, the dog would like to go somewhere, pull it back. If it is not so, go strays away from the path, pull it back. So this is the process of meditation. Hmm. That you want to make it concentrated on something, but the fellow is not staying there. So, okay, when it wavers, pull it back and continue with this process. Don't get tired, don't get frustrated. And it is just this. Do you stop walking the dog? Just because it was the dog, I have to keep on restraining. No, that is how the dog is. That is the nature of dog. Hmm. The nature of mind is to run around. Now you have to train it. Once you train it, then the dog even doesn't need to be put on leash, won't go. It is trained dog now, has been told, oh, just go do this, it will just do that. Hey, go and get newspaper, and goes and brings the newspaper. Very well trained dog. The mind has to be trained like that. Will do exactly what you want to do. It will stop botheration for you. It will be your asset. Otherwise, the mind has become our liability. It has to be converted into asset. Do you not teach that in your business school, Lakshmanji? That, yeah, you have to build assets, reduce the liabilities. So this is the mind has to be converted into an asset. So this is what is mentioned here, that try to gradually it will come under control. This is the practice one has to take up. And what happens as one attains to some expertise in that, then you start feeling more happiness. Huh? Oh, oh, hey, what did you do? Oh, yeah, that is also the similar analogy there. Yeah, yeah, it is. But these days, who knows chariots and so the horses? But a dog, you see, the people walk. So I have to. We have to change the analogies, according to this the times. Mm. Now you see any chariot going out? No. So that analogy has to be changed. I change it to a car. But anyway, so the point is that you have to bring it, and as you get some control over it, the transformation will be actually seen by you. That you will become more happy. If the goal is the supreme happiness, if you are progressing towards the goal, then you will see the signs of it. The happiness and peace in your life will increase. It is that is what is mentioned in the next verse. Prashant manasam yena yoginam sukham uttamam. You will start feeling more inner bliss in your life. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If you are, say, going on the right track, driving on the proper road, then, well, you will see the distance between the destination will start that your GPS will start showing that it is instead of 190 miles, it is 180 miles, then 150 miles, uh, almost there, you would say. Like that, the time will keep on reducing. uh, for the what is it called, that 80 what, huh? TTA, estimated time of arrival. ETA, the ETA is that. And so you see that the time towards that starts reducing. That now, if it is you were that 2 hours from destination, 1 hour from destination. So that is that what happens actually if you practice. This is not a politician's, promise. This is the promise of God, verified and verifiable. Everybody can verify that, and you will see that it is happening. So, upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Each word really needs to be uh, thought about. So this is, and here in this, I will just hint at it because I am seeing that I am running out of time. So that how uh, there is this idea of worship now comes up, uh, that सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. That now you are concentrated Brahma Bhuta, that Akalmashah, all the problems, the blemishes in your awareness, they are gone. And then what happens? You start seeing God everywhere. Now the question is, where is God? How He is? Now that problem will be gone because you are seeing it. Hmm. What you had heard, you start seeing it. Like yesterday, what that Radha. So I had heard about her, that Sunita and Sunil's daughter in New Jersey. So, but I had not seen her. So yesterday I saw her. Hey, so this is this girl. Okay. So similarly, you will see God. You will see God everywhere in everything. Yo mam pasyati sarvatra. Everywhere you will see the same one God. And then it is said, uh, thus that yogi will be actually residing in me, because I am everywhere. So wherever that, whatever that person may be doing, that person, he or she is in me, can never go away from me. If you look at Sri Ramakrishna's life, you see the meaning of these words um, exemplified there. So this is uh, this idea is then described further in terms of work also. That it is, then your works will get transformed. That in the 18th chapter, uh, earlier in the 12th chapter, it is described that yes, now your works will be, you can do it without aspiring for results, and then that work becomes worship. They, instead of worshipping God with these flowers alone, it is good to worship with these flowers from the plants, but then what happens? Your actions themselves get converted into uh, flowers that are to be offered. So it is in all these places you see the description of meditation, worship, and work intertwined, intermingled to form a very nice, strong rope that if we hold that, and we will reach God realization. So thank you very much. And it is uh, one question. Please read it out. Ah, this is not of the topic, how do you develop the love? The love comes when something you get a pleasant result, then you start loving it. You get attracted to it. Love is basically the feeling of attraction. That and to what you get attracted, something that pleases you. So, when you see that the devotional practices, the meditational practices, they are becoming more present in your life. So, you will start loving them. Actually, yes, you cannot live without them. You love them so much that it is impossible for you to live without remembering God, without meditation. Very interesting. Know that it is that how it changes one's life, and you also have experienced it, Prasanna, in your life, that you start loving that more and more, because this is again the practical matter. You derive more and more happiness by doing it, so you do it. That is how it is. The love is developed. Any other question? Any question from this audience here? Okay, then we shall conclude. I know the online listeners cannot be invited for lunch here. That is the drawback of, just online. You will have to manage your own lunch yeah, but we have wonderful delicacies here. Uh, yeah, that two-third lunch yeah, you can have mentally and also by talking about it. ॐ गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यत् शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रः यस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु